Um, I'm actually really excited about my interview tonight. I am interviewing Daniel, who is the founder and owner of Georgetown Hemp, and I will read you his bio because I love it. It is so amazing. Hey, Albert, thanks for coming on. I'm just about to invite my friend Daniel on to talk about CBD for ADHD. In fact, all of the wonderful things about the hemp plant and what it can do for your nervous system, including pain. And we're going to talk about all those different types of, hey, all those different types of symptoms that it helps. So he's going to come on here in a minute, but I wanted to start by introducing him before he gets on. So Daniel is the owner, and I'm going to read my notes here because I want to make sure I got it right. So Daniel is the founder of Georgetown Hemp, and you can follow him. It's at Georgetown Hemp. The company is passionate about people, plants, education, and guiding clients on CBD and wellness. And Georgetown Hemp is a wholesale distributor, retail shop, hemp cultivator, consultant to product manufacturers, and the top knowledge base on all things hemp. And I see that Georgetown Hemp just joined, so I'm actually going to let him in. Let me see if it's going to get him on. Why is it not letting me? Let me try again. It's not just letting me go on. Hold on. Huh. There we go. By request, Daniel. I don't know why it was being weird. Yay! How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Do you
I'm good.
see me?
I
Did I
see
do
you.
it?
Can you flip your phone or no?
Am I sideways?
Yeah, if you flip it. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
I tested it and everything, and I was right side up when I tested it, but
But see, then
apparently,
I invited you, so then it probably messed it up. Sorry. We were
no worries.
on
We're
it.
here. Hi.
Hey, I'm so happy that you got to come on tonight. Thank you so much for coming to chat.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. Well, I just did your bio and I loved at what you added. I think it's so important, especially for my audience with ADHD, to understand how hemp can help. So I thought we would start with just talking a little bit about hemp and CBD cannabis. So what is the most important thing you believe? Well, actually, you know what? First, hold on. Let me talk to you a little bit about your company. How long have you been running Georgetown Hemp?
We're going on 3 years, 3 years now
That's awesome.
that
That's
we've been in business.
awesome. I love that. Great. So I did want to add that part that you've been doing it for a while. So what's the most important thing that you believe people don't know about cannabis and CBD that they should know?
Um, that's a tough one because there's so much, and I could talk for days about, well, I do talk about this stuff every day. But I think it's important to kind of describe the different components that come from the plant. CBD is a term that a lot of people throw around to describe oils that and tinctures that you get at stores to help with stress, anxiety, different things like that. It comes from the hemp plant.
Right.
But CBD is just one of over 100 different cannabinoids that are found in the hemp plant, and one of over 500 different phyto plant-based nutrients that come from the plant. So CBD has its therapeutic value, absolutely, but don't sell yourself short from looking into hemp oils and the other components that could be useful in them.
Sure, I like that. And do you think that they do that angle just because of the legality issue in some states? Why do you think they push CBD so much as opposed to the other therapeutic parts of the plant?
Well, a couple reasons. There's always got to be that Dr. Oz acai berry effect. Whenever there's some sort of new natural therapeutic or something, it's marketing. A big part of it is marketing, but it's also a very tumultuous regulatory landscape in this industry. It's constantly changing. It's different by state. You know, you've got federal laws and local laws. So a lot of the phrasing and terminology is you hear just because you're not really allowed to speak about it in other ways.
No, it's really interesting because with essential oils, which is something else that I've used for ADHD, this the way you have to phrase certain therapeutic properties of any of these natural things. I feel like that's something you can hit a wall with a lot. So you got to have your lawyers on that all the time, right? You're ready, you know.
That was the first thing. That was what I spent most money on before getting into the industry, was really making sure that my business model was appropriate and compliant and offered longevity. So
Yeah,
definitely.
no, I think it. Hey, Danito, thanks for getting on. I haven't seen Danito in years. I think this is so important, and I know that that must be a lot. You know, you have to invest in making sure that you're doing it the right way so you don't get shut down and all those things. Like make sure, but you want to help your clients. Aw, thanks, Danito. Seems like a different life now. That's right. I forgot I was his teacher for like 1 year, and then you graduated. Okay, so the other thing about
Wow.
so there's so many things we can talk about with it, but and cannabis in general. But can you talk a little bit about, and let me turn off comments for a second just so we can see your face a little better. Hold on, sometimes I'm slow with technology.
Adjust the light here too. Oh,
That's
I
cool.
just turned on a burner with my not catch up fire here.
I wonder why it's not. Sorry, right. Let me push this again. Usually it just lets me turn it off, but now it's being weird. Hold on. Turn off commenting. Okay, cool. So if people have questions later, I'll turn the comments back on, but I just like it better when I can see your face. So, all right. So we're talking about the endocannabinoid system. I know a little bit about it because of what I know with the nervous system, and I've actually interviewed a couple craniosacral therapists and some body work people, muscle testing. So we talk about the nervous system with ADHD and autism, but I know you know it very well because you've got a plant that really hooks in. So I'd love you to just talk about, you know, what you know and how it helps to regulate it. So go for it.
Sure. So it's really a relatively new discovery in medicine, advancement in medicine, understanding that we have this system of receptors, and B, that our brains also produce our own cannabinoids, our own endogenous cannabinoids.
Right.
And it was a Israeli researcher by the name of Raphael Mechoulam in the 70s, maybe even, that CBD molecule, THC molecule, was discovered by Raphael Mechoulam. And then our first two endogenous cannabinoids, which are probably on my cool wall behind me too. Nice. Yeah, there's one. So 2-AG or 2-arachidonyl glycerol is one of our, and I'll explain how that works, what that is, and anandamide. From the root, ananda, from the root, the Sanskrit root, meaning bliss. So it's our bliss molecule.
Got it.
It's found in chocolate too. And so I discovered that. Oh, there you are. So he discovered these things and then realized that if we're producing these cannabinoids, that we must have receptors for them. Right. And from there, essentially figured out that this system is a regulatory system, and it regulates close to 80% of the other systems in our bodies, cardiovascular, etc.
Right.
So by bringing balance, homeostasis to that regulatory system, you start to notice changes that you may not have even, been looking to try CBD to even change.
Right,
So
like you won't even realize the effects you can get because it affects so many different systems.
exactly.
I get it. So so it's so fascinating to me. The more I learn, and of course, because I live in an ADHD household, all five of us have different things: ADHD, some ASD, some dyslexia. Like we've all got all the spectrum of nervous system stuff. And when I was learning about
Sorry,
it,
I'm trying to unplug the.
oh,
Do
you're
you hear
fine.
like a fan?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, then never mind. Sorry to
That's
interrupt.
fine. That's fine. No, but I just feel like it's so important. And the way, just, I don't know, just the way that I feel like because we're learning so much, and sometimes I get upset that it's so regulated because I feel like there's such a help here for people. There's such a gift here. If you could really calm your nervous system when you, like, for example, you have ADHD, the way you think about things is so, like, it's sort of magical. It's like a way different way of thinking about things. And if you can turn down the emotional issues and turn up the brain power, which I feel like can happen with CBD, and we'll talk about probably your stories and my own, I just feel like it's so important to know that this exists and that it can help. So that's why I
That's
think it's so.
huge. Yeah, yeah, you're right on.
So what I want to talk about next is just talking about you and consulting with your clients because it's not just ADHD, right? It's a lot of different things. So what are some of the things that you've had no, they're not your patients, your clients. What have your clients sort of found relief when they start using some of your products?
So the top categories that people will get in touch with us for or come to our Hempothecary, our shop in Maryland, is anxiety and pain and sleep. Those are the things you hear that CBD affects change with. We can't say treats online and
Right.
commercials, right? Most often. Um, but what we often find and what we referenced before is that someone will come in and they have a bad knee and they're buying the CBD for that. And then you'll get a call in a couple days with a question like, is it possible that it helps tinnitus? I've had ringing in my ears for 6 years. That stopped on my second dose.
Oh my
My
God.
blood sugar's gone down. Is it possible it's associated? Um, I didn't know I had brain fog until it went away.
Right.
So,
That's so.
it's remarkable. By no means is it the magic bullet for all things. Like you'll hear, you know, when they advertise CBD, but it really does have a wide range of therapeutic values.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. It's amazing you said tinnitus because I know a couple people that have tinnitus. I'm like, oh, I got to get them on this. I got to get them in touch with your account. So I wanted to talk specifically about ADHD too. Do you have any testimonials from clients you're willing to share? And then I'll talk about our experience too. Go for it if you can.
Sure. So, like you mentioned before, it's a new industry. They haven't been able to study it because it's of prohibition. It's been illegal until recently. We're catching up quickly, but with ADD and ADHD, there's even less research
Mm-hmm.
for its applications with ADD and ADHD CBD. That being said, we have a lot of clients who use it for different reasons. And depending on how you ingest it, the route of ingestion, you're going to be able to affect different kinds of change that you may be looking for. If it's restlessness or, excitability, if it's lethargy, right? It can
Right.
help with both on both ends of the spectrum. Um, People who take a stimulant that's an amphetamine salt
Yes.
for ADHD, there's long-term use without breaks, and this has happened to me. It causes me to go into my limbic brain, into my reptile brain,
Yep.
where it starts to be counterproductive, and I lose executive function instead of be able to manage it more often. So I take breaks, right?
Right.
2 days a week, 1 week every 6 months. And there is research showing that CBD helps to counteract, they call it amphetamine-induced psychosis, which
Right.
sounds a lot worse than it really is.
Right.
So it will help. There is evidence that it helps with that. There's some studies, and we have clients who have stopped their prescription medications. You mentioned that it might just be able to kind of quiet certain things to allow others to be able to come
To come
through. And
out.
so,
Right.
yeah, so it's not amphetamine. It's not necessarily, and this is CBD specifically, going to give you that focus,
Right. The way.
to
Yes,
help
I'm
you
fascinated.
study.
Right.
Right. But it may just take the edge off of certain things or increase reactivity of other things in ways that you're not even noticing, but you find yourself performing better and feeling better.
Right.
So,
And that's one thing that I
yeah,
really noticed about it. It was like it enhanced other things. We never did well with medicine. Neither my son nor I. We're both inattentive ADHD, which is like the daydream one. Anyway, we're not as energetic. But I know that with us, it kind of made us tired at first. But then once I started using some like saffron extract and finding some more natural supplements, the hemp oil was really able to kind of amplify those results. Like it felt like when I combined them, I was getting a better result. And I love that you said you go in the reptile's brain. I actually, with the cranial psychotherapist, I was talking about the polyvagal theory, which is the three parts of the vagus nerve, which I am like a total nerd about. I love studying it. But it's true. It's like you go in the middle part, the reptile in the middle. There's like the frontal part where we're like wanting to connect and be social. There's the middle part where we're like going back to that reptile fight or flight. And I feel like, and I'm a mom with kids with ADHD, right? So I'm trying to constantly get my kid out of that, get them out of that emotional, like where it's just up here, you're really mad, or and just try to get to the frontal where it's calmer, more social, more connected. So I think it's really interesting you said that because I feel like I know exactly what you mean, and I've seen it with the stimulants because we've tried them all. We were on a 6 month protocol of all different stuff, and none of it worked for us, but that's cool. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. And this is the page where I'm like, anything that helps you with your ADHD, please do it. Right. So,
right,
um,
right. And,
but
yeah, in general.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was my motivation for getting into this industry because I had tried so many um, Western medicine techniques and medication classes, every class of medication you can imagine. And the brightest minds weren't able to help change how I felt,
right.
right? But I remember from my teenage years and being young that cannabis was quickly and efficiently effective at changing how I felt. Not always for the better. I would have anxiety and different things like that. But, it clicked to me that this plant really was able to accomplish something that, other people weren't. And
Right.
so that's when I became obsessed with learning the mechanisms by which it like affects those changes and affected that change and went down that rabbit hole. And I've been here for the last 3 years, you
But
know.
it's so amazing because you've taken a passion and made your whole business around it, helping other people. So it's just wonderful to have you on here to talk. And well, I'm so thankful that you came on tonight. And of course, I'm screen recording this, and it'll be up on bunches of channels, so everyone will be able to watch it whenever they have time. And I'll send it to you. But I do want to ask. I want to tell people before we go. And let me turn on the comments real quick in case there's any questions, because there's a couple people. Let me just see if anyone has a question, they can drop it now. And then if you want to tell us how people can learn more about your business, just where to go find you, your website, and all that good stuff, that would be great for us.
Sure. So if you can remember Georgetown Hemp, you can find us anywhere. Our website is georgetownhemp.com. We're Georgetown Hemp on Instagram and Facebook, and GTH TV on YouTube. If
Oh, cool.
that's how you like to uh, get your content. We've got some educational videos and information about our company on there as well.
Awesome. Well, I think we're good. I think everyone, thank you. Oh, cool. Angel's on. Thank you, Angel. So thank you so much for getting on, and I can't wait to share this on every channel because this has been so helpful for me, and helpful for my followers. I want to say thank you so much, Daniel. Is there anything else you want to leave us with before you go for tonight?
You can also call 833, the number 4, hemp DC,
Okay.
and that will ring through to us as well. I spend most of my days talking to people about this plant like we're doing right here. So if you call, you'll probably get me at some point, and I'm
Awesome.
happy to answer questions. And um, please don't hesitate.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Albert. Hey, thanks, Quinson, too. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, Daniel, tonight, and keep up the great work. I think this is so important for people to find relief, however they can, and I love that it's your passion to help people and that you know so much about this plant. So thank you so much, and have a great night.
You too.